Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to be looking at how Saturn affects us. I'm specifically going to be talking about how Saturn affects our finances, our sense of self-worth, especially when it comes and sits in this specific part of our chart. So if you are somebody who has had to grow up really fast, or you've had more than your share of challenges, and you're still finding your way as far as finances, wealth, and even self-empowerment is concerned, this video is for you. We're going to be diving into how our early life experiences can shape our journey and how eventually we find our voice and our confidence. Now, whether you've struggled with confidence, or you felt that you have to shoulder adult responsibilities, or maybe more than your share of responsibilities much too earlier, do keep watching, as I'm going to be sharing what Saturn exactly is doing in your chart and how it is that we can navigate around it. We can never really sort of overcome Saturn, because Saturn is it's a father planet, it's a teacher planet, it's a planet which symbolizes authority, responsible, and Saturn is this very cold and foreboding, and somebody who does not tolerate any mistakes. But the thing about Saturn is that when Saturn finally leaves our charts, that finally, especially when a transit is concerned, it's there for different durations during our different cycles of life. And when Saturn finally leaves our house, it always leaves us with a gift that stays with us for life. I'm going to be talking about our natal charts. I'm going to be talking about the Saturn placement when we are born. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about money. So if you are somebody who's always had financial challenges, if you've always struggled with discipline and responsibility and authority, it is quite likely that you have Saturn in your second house. And Saturn placement over here, and this again, please remember, this is your natal chart. I'm not talking about a Saturn transit which happens for all of us. This is Saturn being in your house of money. This is the house of your self-worth, how it is that you look at money, how it is that you look at your relationship with money. And Saturn in this house right from the start brings about a lot of challenges. It brings about delays. It brings about a sense of lack of self-worth. And it doesn't matter how old we get. It doesn't matter, you can be 40 and you could still be struggling, and you may be having money in your bank, but there could always be this slightly, look over your shoulder to seeing, that do I have enough? Should I be spending that much? And you'll find this amongst quite common amongst people who have money. And you'll just think that, what's the fuss about? I mean, you have the money in your bank, you're in a job, and yet this constant, that fear that I'm going to lose money, or it's not enough for me, or I'm not worthy enough, with the amount of money that I have in bank. Unfortunately, Saturn never really sort of fills the void of the self-worth which it creates in this second house. This is something wherein that you need to step in yourself. Your soul work is required over here. This is wherein that your own sense of self needs to expand, and that is also one of the biggest lessons of Saturn for you in this house, wherein that Saturn is teaching you to look beyond money. Unfortunately, what happens is that the moment we face, and earlier on, you'll find that people who have Saturn in second house, that you're too practical as far as money is concerned, and much more earlier on, much more when you're younger. Or it can be that you become responsible for a lot of people at home as far as finances. You are like constantly paying everybody's bills. It doesn't stop. You're paying for your parents, and then you're paying for your siblings, and then you're paying for your children, and so it does not end. The responsibility, the financial responsibility does not end. And for you, somewhere, I think having that responsibility much more early on, not just matures you, but and also disciplines you, but it brings about some amount of friction with authority figures, and they can be and it's something very subconscious. It's not that you're going to be going out and seeking fights, or at work you could be throwing your weight. It's can be as simple as a tendency to experience delays and challenges or obstacles as far as earning money is concerned. You'll find that some strange stuff keeps happening at work, as somebody else who maybe works or puts in half the effort as you do is getting promoted or is getting more money than you. But the good thing also with this placement is that the rewards come much later in life. It's in the second part of your life is when you start seeing Saturn being more gentler, more kinder, the money coming more easily to you. And it's, I think, where self-esteem and self-worth issues are concerned, Saturn over here sort of tends to challenge you as to how it is that you look at money, how it is that are you somebody who really holds money very tightly, that it's like everything is like, even if you can afford it, but everything is done with a lot of, oh God, I don't want to buy it, oh, I've spent so much, oh, I had that lunch, oh, I had that drink. You can afford it, but still it's that you will keep going on even when you're spending, when you're paying for it, even after you've consumed it. That guilt or that sense of that, I think that self-worth which is intertwined with money, which says that I'm not worth it, I need to be saving it, I need to be, and you won't hesitate to maybe spend that amount multiplied into 100, maybe on your children or maybe on someone that you love dearly, but on you it'll keep sort of biting you, it'll keep eating you. So it's also that you need to be valuing yourself is also what Saturn's lesson over here is. And Saturn finally, when it finishes work, I mean, in your natal sign, honestly, Saturn never stops working. But like I said, the first half is generally far more tougher. That's the time that Saturn is setting out the rule and it's making you do the grind. But you could have a very traditional approach to as far as money is concerned, as far as values are concerned, with Saturn being in your second house. You could be somebody who's, I'd rather put my money in FD. I'm not going to be putting it on stock. And you'll be very fearful of trusting people with money. It'll be like, no, I can't do it. Someone will run away with my money. No, I can't, explore or experiment or try and do something new with my money, because that fear is very high that no, it'll get taken away from me. So the sense of fear, it is interwoven with your the value system that comes along with this place. And maybe that you might be looking at your children, you might be looking at your spouse in a very traditional roles. Children are supposed to be taking care of me when they grow up, because I have done so much. It's that currency that you hold over. My husband is supposed to be taking care of me because I have done, I do da 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 da. It's the Saturnian mindset in a second house tends to not just make you question your own sense of not being enough, but also sort of looking at yourself through other people's eyes, which I think is being really, really harsh on yourself. So the important tip over here is that you need to be doing is that you need to be, first of all, developing financial skills. You need to be focused on being financially literate, as simple as that. Don't worry about that someone is going to be running away with your money, or your money will all of a sudden vanish from the bank. Create a detailed budget for yourself, put a long-term financial plan for yourself, ensure that you're moving or you're spending as per your budget. build your self-worth. I think I can't emphasize on this enough. Work on building your self-esteem and understanding your intrinsic value, which is independent of your material possession. It doesn't matter how big a house that you're living in. It does not matter what your designation is. If you are not feeling good inside, if your sense of self is not strong enough, it does not matter the number of people that surround you. It just does not matter, because eventually, if you are going to be that person who's always going to be fearful, who's going to be bringing other people down, who's going to be tearing people down, it just speaks about your own personal insecurity. So focus on building your own sense of self. Be comfortable with yourself. It's all right. And I think keep reminding and doing those affirmations that I have enough. There is enough abundance around. There's enough money for all of us to have and to share and for it to grow. And lastly, be patient. Remember that financial success and personal growth comes quite slowly, and it takes a lot of perseverance and dedication, unless until you've not been born in one of the wealthy families in the country. You just need to remember that when you're investing, when you're planning your money well, Saturn with this, even if it's an extremely challenging position, Saturn will gift you, and it is a patient and long game. I mean, end of the day, you have to be realistic that there is no such thing as an overnight, be really rich, unless and until you're one of those really genius unicorn startups that within 2 years you've broken the market. But on a real, for day to day, for all of us, it's just a very persistent, patient, and a long game, and not the sense that you'll, by the time you're not there, only then the money is coming. But the latter part of your life, say your 40s, post 40s, it gets easier for you. It's just that the initial stages are where that you need to be rolling up your sleeves and you need to be working with Saturn as far as your financial discipline is concerned, as far as your sense of self-worth is concerned in building it. And lastly, very importantly, staying patient and staying persistent. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I will, or I'm happy to talk about more Saturn placements in your natal chart. Please remember, this is as per your natal chart, exactly as to where Saturn is placed for you. And Saturn can be placed in your 6th house, in your 8th house, in your 2nd house. But today, because I spoke about money, and that again has to do with Saturn being in 2nd. So if you would like me to talk about something more specific or a specific house, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And remember to subscribe. I get a lot of mails, or I would say even when I check the analytics, I think there are 90% of you who have not subscribed to the channel who are coming and watching it. So guys, come on. I mean, help me help you create better content. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.